Hi, welcome. My name is Beth Kluth, and I'm going to be doing another alcohol ink demo. This is a demo of a design that I did called Love is Messy, because love is messy, as we all know. And I have done this on several different types of media. This happens to be a card that I had made up. I had it printed of the design, sort of cropped it out and did the design. This is a different one that I did on tile. And so I'm going to be doing two tonight with some different color combinations, one on tile and one on Yupo paper. And then I'm going to show you another little fun way to utilize a design like this. So for tiles, when I do tiles, I don't usually make coasters or anything functional. I find it very hard to seal so that it doesn't get scratched. And I'm not proficient at resin, so I like to present these little tiles if I give them as gifts as a little mini masterpiece of art. And so a couple of ways that I finish those off are this little cardboard back, and it has an easel and it has a hanger so that you could put it on a shelf or you could hang it on the wall, and you just glue this on the back with something like E6000, and it's a really nice way to finish it off. You can also, if you want to do black marker to cover up any of the unglazed portion of the back of the tile. Another way to display these are these little blocks that you can get from a company called Aftosa. It has a little ridge in there, and you just fit that in there, and it's a really nice way to professionally sort of present this. They come in black and cherry. This is natural, and they come in 6-inch, 8-inch, and I will share the links to both of those products. So I am going to first do a tile, and when I use any kind of surface other than Yupo paper, I like to clean that surface with a little blending solution. I find that blending solution works a little better than alcohol, only because when I use alcohol, sometimes the inks little holes will appear where the inks haven't stuck to the surface. And so with blending solution, I find that happens a little bit less. And I think that's because there's some type of a binder in the alcohol blending solution. So to get started, I do use very small little brushes. And I'm going to be doing this one sort of in the shades of blues, like an ocean view. So I'm going to put a little sailboat blue in there. I'm going to put a little bit of denim. I'm going to put some of the Pinata Baja blue. I love that blue. There we go. And probably a little stream, which is, we know is that teal color. And I really like Patina by Ranger. I use that a lot. Just a light sort of greenish aqua. And so I just usually start with a V. And if you do your V sort of squatty, you're going to end up with a squatty heart. And if you do it sort of elongated. And I'll do a couple different a couple different outlines of this color that aren't necessarily touching each other. And then I'll go back in with a different color and sort of touch next to it. And you'll notice, this is messy. You don't want to have just completely nice, clean, even stripes necessarily with this design. This is supposed to be a little bit messy. So I just alternate going on the outside versus more in the interior. always stopping to let it do what it's supposed to do, which is to push off from each other, blend with each other. And you can go back with the same colors over what you did, and just by using lighter touch, a little less alcohol ink, or a harder touch to get more bold lines. And I usually just keep going until you can always leave some white in between those sort of striations, those lines. And again, I love this technique because you're not trying to be perfect. You're purposely trying to be a little bit messy. And sometimes that's hard, to be purposefully messy while you're trying to still create something that's recognizable. I'll just alternate. And then whether you want to fill in the outside edges or not is completely up to you. Sometimes I leave them blank. Sometimes I go all the way to the edge with the color. And if you change your mind, again, you're on tile, so that's nice. You can just sort of wipe off if you'd like to clean up some areas. If you do find that either you have it's really sort of blended a little too much, you can easily just come in and redo portions of that design or portions of that heart. Let's say it's smaller hearts and then larger hearts going out. Or another thing I like to do is just to use plain blending solution on my brush to create some designs maybe within those thicker outlines. And then even after letting this dry, especially the center is pretty well, you can always come in with blending to create more definition. If you've sort of lost the whole heart design, you can come back in and make that a little stronger. So that's the one on tile. Now I'm going to do another one with more variety of color, and this will be on Yupo. And I think I'll do it more vertical, so it's a little bit of a longer heart than round or than on a square. And I'll just start with these blues since I have them here. V in the center. I guess I really stayed with these blues and greens. I better introduce something new. So we'll come in with some orange. Yeah, that's not the one to come out either. Let's see. There we go. I'm going to put some citrus in here too. Let these sit out for a little longer. There we go. Just going to add a little more of a bright green. This one's really sort of getting out of control quick, but One of the things that I like about alcohol inks, in addition to the surprise that's going to happen, because you don't know necessarily exactly what's going to happen when those colors hit each other, there's so many ways to reactivate and sort of completely transform what you have. All right. Go with that little red for Valentine's Day. And for mixed media artists who maybe haven't used alcohol inks a lot, so much has to do with how much alcohol you have or how much ink you have on your brush. That determines how much it's going to spread. And at first it can be a little scary because it just like goes. But after a while, you get to know how much to tap off, or when to get more heavy to get your thicker lines. And then also the other great thing is that you can go over, and again, it just reactivates what's there. It's not another layer. It just pushes what's there out of the way to make room. And something like this is a little bit bigger than 5x7, but this could easily be cut down to fit on a 5x7 card. You could stamp over it. You could put a piece of paper with a saying on there. This is what I love, when, you know, those surprises when those two colors hit and you just don't know what you're going to get. So I think on this one, I'm going to go out a little farther because it is something that I'm going to trim down, and I'm going to put it onto a card. I'll just keep going a little bit more on this one. One thing I try to do is avoid getting brush marks on there, so I stop using the brush when it starts to dry out. A little bit more color on here. All right, so I'm going to let that sort of dry a little bit, and I'm going to come back and do some design work on it. But I wanted to show the design that I originally did, and I had printed on a card. I also had it printed on a small canvas, and so this is from Canvas Discount. So I think it's canvasdiscount.com. And so I had it printed on here with a white edge. But once you have your design, a design that really is, that you like a lot, you can have these printed in multiple ways. And then you can use Posca pens, or you can use metallic gold paint pens. You can use different things to maybe outline or create additional texture on the canvas. You could even glue on some things, or I've used the adhesive, the Decofoil adhesive, and then putting some foil adhesive on different parts of it. So this is a way to take a design that you've created and use it as a background, and then come in and do even more design work to it. You can, that's a lot of fun, and you can do it. I've done this with black, white, silver, gold. So that's another thing that you can do. You can also use those Posca pens on, your Yupo paper to accentuate as well. I think the canvases are really nice too. So now what I'm going to do is just do a little bit more sort of design work. So you got a nice background, but there's always those things you can do to accentuate it. So this is just blending solution, which is, it's magical. It's just magical. So I put a little on there. And again, I'm going fast. Don't try to be perfect. The messier, the better. I just feel like I need a little bit definition in the center. So I am going to try something a little lighter. I'm going to do the bright yellow instead of the butterscotch and see if I can get a and then sometimes I'll repeat that. Anything that creates a little more interest, so it does not look just like outlines of a heart over and over again. It really is, but just creates a lot more organic. A more organic design. Sorry, I'm getting my arm in the shot here. And again, the biggest question always asked by my students is, when should I stop? And that is, it's so hard because I could have stopped a while ago. A lot of times I will take a picture of, like, I think it's pretty much complete now. Take a picture, and then sometimes I can't help myself and I'll just keep going. So I hope that this has been fun, and I hope this exercise allows you to sort of let go. Not try to be too perfect. Sometimes in between our more realistic paintings, we need to just be free. So I hope this is a fun project for you to try on your own. I'll see you next time. Thank you.